Yo, what's going on, man? Today is August the 30th, 2024. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. Live, what is it, 8:05, a couple minutes late. We got four games on the board for the WNBA, and I'm excited to jump into it. As always, we do a quick recap, go through a couple of the comments, get right into it, man. See if we can find some money on the slate for today. Um, Quick recap, we didn't have any games yesterday. So Wednesday night was a good night for me. 2-0 on the plays that I did release officially. Washington, Chicago stayed under the total of 158.5. Easy winner. Almost got overtime, which scared me. Washington was able to take care of business. Chicago couldn't score the ball in the second half. And Minnesota -4. Absolute wagon Minnesota is right now. So 2-0. The 10 plays that I had, I know it was 4 player props and six sides and totals. The 6 sides and totals went 6-0. The player props went 2-2. So overall 8-2 in the last. If you tailed anything from that short list, really good Wednesday night. Let's see if we can replicate that and be successful here going into the weekend, man. What's going on to my guy Mark? Says happy Friday, Chris and community. Let's cash. My guy Justin in here as always. Reminding everybody hit the like button. And appreciate that, Justin. Definitely hit the like button if you can. Helps out the algorithm. More sharpers, sports bettors in the comment section. All of those good things. Helms says he loves the slate today. What up, Helms? Marquis says rise and grind. Let's get after it. Dallas in here saying what's good to everyone. Florence says Chris really be capping. What up, young man travel? He says feeling good today. Let's run the likes up and cash out. What's up to my guy dropping dimes as well? Naked Orange says caught you live. Glad you could. What's up, Lifeline? And Prolific in here as well. He says, Chris, please help me with this domestic abuse between me and the Liberty. Boy. Yeah, the Liberty lost outright the other day to the Sparks, which was actually the worst part of my night. I fell asleep on the game. But, we got the Sparks. For my loyal listeners, we got the Sparks season win total under. I did not expect them to beat to beat the Liberty. Liberty did. They ended up ruling Jocko Jones out, which I think was big in that game too. So hopefully she plays today. I don't really like the slate as much. I think it was Helms who said he likes the slate. We'll see what happens in today's slate. And a lot of reason is because when I bet the WNBA, man, I like betting on certainty. And there isn't a lot. I feel like there's some uncertainty with the slate for today. So let's jump into it. First game we got up, and I'm trying to just get up my injury report, but I think I got everything right already. Just get up the injury report real quick. So first game up, we got the Fever in the Sky. Game to be played in Chicago today. This line is 5.5, depending on where you're shopping. Excuse me. I did see Indiana had a clean injury report. And for Chicago, we got Kennedy Carter on the injury report as well. And she's listed as questionable with COVID. I talked about how much Kennedy Carter meant to this game in the last game against the Washington Mystics and liking that game to go under, which we did get there on the under. Washington was the right side as well. Chicago is just, they can't really score the basketball without Kennedy Carter. And they had a lot of turnovers in that game as well. You're talking about 17.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 3 assists as well. And that's just for the full season. Over the last, handful of games since they traded Marina Mabrey, it's been even more. So that makes this tough, man. I think, I'm no dummy. Indiana is 4-1 straight up and against the spread since the break. They kind of have been playing a lot better, which is why I liked them the other day against the Connecticut Sun, but not as much on the road. In their 6 wins, the 6 wins that the Fever do have on the road, they have covered 5 of the spreads though. This is the largest spread that they've laid on the road all season though, if you like Indiana. And I mentioned Chicago, only 1-5 straight up, 3-3 against the number since the break. They're averaging just 74 points per game, and they've stayed under 80 in 4 of those 6 games. And I kind of feel like I got Indiana figured out. Indiana is a team that when they're at home, I'm not betting against them. I told you guys that the other day. I know a lot of people in the comments like the Connecticut Sun. I'm not betting against the Fever at home right now. Like, they've showed me way too many signs that they can score the basketball, they can defend when they need to, and they running it up, man. Whether it's Aaliyah Boston, Tiffany Mitchell, I think has 5 straight games of 20 points, and then you got Lexi Hall added in that starting rotation. She's shooting 40% from the 3-point line. But on the road, not so much. Their offense has not been as great. The defense has been really, really poor on the road. And I haven't even switched to this, but look at this. Last five games defensively, the Fever are still 9th rated. So if Indiana is able to score the basketball, if Chicago is able to score the basketball, which can be difficult for them at times, I can see a way this kind of close, man. And I think if you want to fade this guy, you probably want to do it early. They almost beat the Aces. And I know the Aces aren't the regular Aces, but if they could do that to the Aces, I kind of feel like they can do it to the Fever as well. So as much as I want to back Indiana here, I can't quite get to the window without knowing if if Kennedy Carter's going to play. If she is going to play, maybe that line goes down to 3.5, and then I like the Fever. Yeah, I would still take the Fever. And last thing I want to mention on this game before I go into a couple of the comments is this is the final, I think the final meeting of the season, 4th meeting of the season. Indiana won the first 2 at home, and they lost the game in Chicago the last time that they played by 1 point. Chicago was +1.5. Indiana was +1.5. I remember being on the Fever in that spot, and they ended up losing that game. That was back on June the 23rd. So it's been a while. 88-87. Indiana has covered all 3 spreads though. So I like the Fever, but I want to see what happens with Kennedy Carter. I think if you wait, she's ruled in. You get a better number in my opinion. And real quick, let's see if I can find a tweet, because the beat reporter asked Cheryl Teresa Weatherspoon after the game whether Kennedy Carter was going to be available, and her quote was, "I'm sure she'll be fine," end quote. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see what you guys are thinking. What up to my guy Jamie? Mark says Liberty a dirty word. We sprinkled that Sparks money line in Sauce Discord Wednesday. Glad you cashed it, huh? He says, Helping Hand says, what's up, Chris? Caitlin and Angel pros today. Props today, he probably means. Yeah, I can see it. Helm thinks Kelsey Mitchell keeps it going, likes her over 19.5. Smokey McLeod says Fever spread, Clark points, rebounds, and assists over, Reese double-double, and Cardoso double-double. All right, so one thing I want to talk about really quickly, just seeing that comment, was, and I mentioned this the other day, if you look at the Fever, I think that date was June the 13th. Yeah, it was, I think it was June 13th. Yeah, June 13th. Since the Fever got that break, right? They are 12-6 straight up, 13-5 against the number. But you got to look a little deeper than that. If you look at them at home in that time, 8-1 straight up, 8-1 against the number. And they've been dogs in a couple of these games. You look at them on the road, 4-5 straight up, 5-4 against the number. The 4 wins that they have since they've had a little bit of a break have come against the Dream, beat the Dream 91-79. They beat the Mercury 88-82. They beat the Lynx 81-74 without Nafisha Collier. And they beat the Dream again 84-79. They lost to the Sky in this spot on the road. They got a bet. They lost to the Storm. They lost to the Aces. Lost to the Wings. And they lost to the Lynx. So it makes it a little difficult, man. I know the Sky's not playing as good as some of these teams are, but yeah, I don't know if I'm quite there ready to lay 5 with the Fever on the road yet. Like I said, it's the biggest spread they've had all season. If Kennedy Carter is ruled out, I do think the Fever probably win this game by double digits. Yeah, I think they win it by double digits. Dropping Dom says I might be on the island, but he likes the Sky team total under 80.5, even with Carter. If you listen to Kelsey Mitchell post game after the Sun game, and she said we won't be bullied, I feel like they bring the same energy. So at home, since June 13th, they're giving up 82 points per game. Defense has been solid. On the road, they're giving up 85 points per game. So their defense hasn't been as good, dropping down. Which is one of the reasons why I don't really like them on the spread as much in this spot. But don't let me talk you off. Prolific says maybe Indy team total over, potentially. Probably scratch Caitlin late last minute. Never mind. I don't think so. What up, Peasy? Helm says Fever roll. Mark likes Fever -5 for him. Even without the Kennedy Carter news, I'll wait and see if we get a better number for Kennedy Carter. Kind of feels like he's gonna play, but I could totally be wrong. DJ Prop says I think Angel Reese has a bounce back game points wise. We had 25 last game versus the Fever. I'll take over 13.5 for Angel Reese at home. Yeah, it's a number that you probably want to get on early, probably if you think Kennedy Carter is going to play. If you think she's not going to play, because Angel Reese minutes will go up. It also kind of feels like, if I'm looking at this game from a prop perspective, how could you not like Aaliyah Boston? We know that the bigs for the Chicago Sky, they can't really stop anybody. Stephanie Dawson was having herself a game last game. And, Cardoso, while she's getting better offensively, they really, really struggle to defend the paint. So I'll be looking at some Aaliyah Boston props if I'm liking anything prop-wise in this game. Sky in horrible form right now. They absolutely are. But how long though, Helms? Everything has a chance to, feels like it reverses itself. Ball Talk says, what's up, Ball family? I like the Fever here. They pretty much dominated every matchup against the Sky thus far. Fever way more improved since then. Can't fade the Fever right now. Caitlin Clark in that mode. Yeah. They've lost 2 of their last 3 games on the road though. Lost to the Wings. They got hot before the break. Lost to the Lynx. This is a Sky team that's not as good though. And they struggled to close that game out against the Dream, but they did get the job done in that one. So we'll see how it goes, man. A lot of people sound like they like the Fever. Let me guys start you off. I want to take them too. I just want to see what happens with Kennedy Carter first. All right, let's move along. We got the Lynx and the Wings up next. This line opened 5.5, I think, in favor of the Lynx as road favorites, and the Wings are in this total open like 167. I think it's up about 4 points now. And quick injury report here. We got I think Minnesota had a clean injury report. Yeah, same thing for Dallas. It's pretty solid. You got a Minnesota team that has won every single game so far since the Olympic break. I think a perfect 5-0, 6-0, straight up and against the spread. Really difficult to bet against this team. I looked at Minnesota, and I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just look here. So yeah, 1 day's rest, second of a 2-game road trip. So last game of the second of the 2-game road trip. Perfect 6-0 straight up and against the spread since the All-Star break. 28-4 straight up, 21-11 against the number. And you can see their road splits as well. 10-5 straight up, 11-4 against the number, 5-2 this season on the road as a favorite, including 4 straight wins and covers. The last 3 all being by double digits. I'm not betting against the team right now, man. The Dallas Wings, on the other hand, have been playing a little bit better basketball. This is you do have the rest advantage here, 2 days rest versus 1 day's rest. 3rd straight home game for them and back-to-back wins versus Aces and the Sparks. So one thing that stood out to me here is the poor starts for the Wings. If I go to moneyballer.com very, very quickly, and I look at Dallas in the first half of games, they are 1-3-1 against the spread since the All-Star break. And it's been whereas the Lynx are a perfect 2-0 against the spread. So this team has just really started off super hot in games. I have the Lynx. So I kind of wanted to get there with the Lynx early. Maybe it'll be a smaller play. I watched Dallas go down pretty much every single game. The Sparks, they went down. The Aces, they went down. And then they're a really good fourth quarter team. Like they have been coming back and kind of saving their energy. I'm not sure if Coach Tremble needs to make a bunch of adjustments or what, but they're getting outscored in the first quarter by an average of 7 points since returning from the Olympic break. And like I said, the fourth quarter, they're outscoring teams by 6 or 7. Of course, it's a bit inflated when you beat the Sparks 40-18 in the fourth quarter as well. The other thing that's important to mention in this game is Dallas beat Minnesota the last time that they played. It was the game right after the Liberty won the Commissioner Cup. After the Lynx beat the Liberty in the Commissioner's Cup, 94-88 was the score in that game. And Minnesota, they had won the 2 previous matchups before. So when you look at Minnesota in a revenge spot this season, they are 3-1. straight up and against the number in the revenge spots this season. I know that the Dallas Wings are looking a little bit better, but I can't take Dallas in this spot. I mean, they're still really poor defensively, and a 6-point separation. I still like the Minnesota Lynx team. So I did play Minnesota. I sent this out yesterday at 5.5 over on BetMGM. It went up to 6.5. I see it at 7 now, and I'm not sure where it goes, but I wanted to get in on the best number because the Wings can score the basketball, man. Their offenses look really, really good. You can see bottom right corner, they are the third offensive net rating team over the last 5 games, but defensively, look, 12th in defensive rating and net rating over the last 5 games still. And Minnesota on the opposite side, number 1 offensive rated team since the Olympic break. With when the feature call you out there and the way that Cheryl Reeves has to move the ball, really difficult to want to fade this offense, man. They have been absolutely crushing it. Let's see what you guys think about this one. Josh said if Carter is out, fever easy. Man, I hate hearing stuff like this, but kind of agree with that, Josh. Dropping Dime says he got Lynx minus 5.5 and over 168.5. Yeah, the over makes a lot of sense. Should be able to go back to Lynx team total over like we failed to cash with the Aces, but I probably won't get there, especially with the line moving already. Smokey McLeod says he likes the Lynx money line. Courtney Williams over 22.5 points and rebounds and assists. And Enrique over her 9.5 rebounds and assists as well. Mitchell says he got 5.5 for the Lynx also. Mark locked in 6 yesterday. Dropping Dime says no way Wings winning 3 in a row. Yeah, they're still playing hard. I give them credit for that. All right, let's keep it moving. Next game up, we have Dream and the Aces. Boy. So I'm saying boy because I really wanted to figure out how to play this game. So big news here is on the Atlanta side, right? The Aces don't have anybody on the injury report. And for the Atlanta Dream, they will be without Tina Charles. She was ruled out last night, probably around like 8:15, 8:30 for personal reasons. I don't even think she's with the team. And I wanted to look into what kind of impact she makes. So I'll get there in a second, but let's just set the table right quick. So the Dream, rest disadvantage here. 1 day's rest versus 2 for the Aces. Second up a 4-game road trip for them, and they've lost 3 straight games. And let's pause for a second. Let's bookmark that. It feels like no team wants the last spot in the playoff season. The Dream can't win a game to get above the Sky, and the Sky can't win a game to get themselves any distance over the Dream. So I just thought that was interesting, man. Both teams have been on a nice little losing streak. All right, so unpause, get back into the game. Speaking of losing streaks, the Aces are 0-9 against the number in their last 9 games, and only 1-10 in their last 10 games. But they do have the extra day's rest here. The first game back home after a 3-game road trip. Of course, they're coming off that, and probably the most embarrassing loss of the season, losing to the Dallas Wings. Satu Sabli and Tasha Howard in or not. That's still just super embarrassing to lose to the Wings. Not cover, but lose the game outright. So the Dream, you guys can see, the one thing that stood out to me, Dream coming from Seattle. They lost that game by 4 or 5 points, but they did cover the spread. And Alicia Gray did end up playing in that game. So that's South Carolina versus South Carolina. When you talk about Asia Wilson, shout out to my guy, DJ Props. He sent me the article earlier, and I'll get into that in just a second. But look at the Dream against the spread on the road, 10-4. So they're still going to fight. Does Tina Charles not being there, how much does that influence the game is the question here. And you got an Aces team. When you look at the Aces, right? If we look at the Aces, just really, really quickly. I feel like I don't got none of this stuff up that I'm supposed to have up. All right, let's look at the Aces. So if we look at the Aces over the last 5 games, and we try to pinpoint why they've been so terrible, or even last 10 games, why they've been so terrible. We talked about this before, just to give you guys an update. They're allowing the 3rd most offensive rebounds. Becky Hammond addressed this in the post-game interview. She said, I put Mary Gustafson in, still didn't get any rebounds. She said, I put Alicia Clark in, still didn't get any rebounds. Both of them finished with 0 rebounds. Asia only had 6. Now, Atlanta, not necessarily the worst rebounder team. They're 5th in rebounding. But without Tina Charles, it does kind of feel like that'll even itself out a little bit. So that's a check for the Aces when Tina Charles isn't playing as far as the rebounding. The other thing the Aces really been struggling with, outside of rebounding the basketball, is they haven't been able to score the basketball themselves. Their effective field goal percentage over the last 5 games is 10th, which is third worst in WNBA, only shooting about 52. Well, defensively, they're allowing teams to shoot the ball a lot better than they should be. This defense has not been good. They keep going under on picks, not been aggressive at all. No trapping, no rotations. It's been really, really bad. Becky Hammond talked about that as well. But the Dream offensively been really, really struggling. Remember I talked about like in the under in the last game, they did get up and over their team total, but they're 10th in effective field goal percentage, the 9th in free throw rate, so not getting to the free throw line, and they're only scoring about 78.8 points per game in their last 5, which is bottom 5. True field goal percentage, 49%, and pace, they're playing at the slowest pace over the last 5 games as well. They can't score in the paint. In mid-range, they're shooting 28%, which is last in the WNBA. And they also last in above the break 3 field goal percentage as well, shooting 28% from 3 as well. This was a game that I kind of felt like I wanted to under on. And I see Drop Downs put it right here, put it in the comment section. Atlanta team total is like 77.5. And I know the Aces defense has been terrible, but when you look into the numbers, when I looked a little deeper last night and I was looking at the numbers, I don't have it right in front of me. I don't want to pull it up right now. But without Tina Charles on the floor, I thought it might, have a significant impact on the defense. Actually has a more of a significant impact on the offense. The offensive rating drops about 10 points, 10 percentage points. So I like Aces to be able to win the game. I'm not taking them to cover. I'm not sure how much they score. I think their team total is 87.5, whereas the Dream team total is 77.5. So I think FanDuel had the best number, like -112 when I looked earlier this morning. That's on my short list. Atlanta team total under 77.5. Aces offense hasn't looked that great. I think if anything, the Dream still play defense in this spot. And I think they're going to miss the services of Tina Charles for sure. So if I look at the Aces the Dream defensively, third in opponent effective field goal percentage, fouling at the 4th fewest rate, giving up the 3rd fewest rebounds. Of course, that'll change without Tina Charles tonight. 2nd in opponent assists last 5 games. Number 1 in restricted area field goal percentage, opponent restricted field goal percentage. Doing a pretty good job. Not giving up points off turnovers, not allowing teams to get out and run in transition, 4th fewest points in fast break, 5th in points in the paint. I kind of feel like a team total under. I'm not laying with the Aces, though, I'll tell you that. Let's see what you guys think about this one. Not sure if the Wings can score against Minnesota. Reeves exposes teams that put the ball on the floor. Coaching mismatch at its finest. Couldn't agree more, Ball Talk. Absolutely couldn't agree there. Smokey Steam says no Tina Charles, but let's be safe. Aces money line parlay, but Asia over 25 points and over 38.5 points plus rebounds. That's a hell of a money line price, boy. I can't get there with that, but yeah, I do think that Asia rebounds to go up and over 11.5 is in play without Tina Charles today. I also kind of feel like you have to look at Ryan Howard, right? Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray and Asia they're like almost like best friends. And they're gonna go back and forth with each other all night. And I think they get more usage without Tina Charles being there. Shout out to Tina Charles. She had a triple-double, first career triple-double at age 35, 34, however old she is. And first triple-double in Atlanta Dream history too. So Tina Charles in that game in Seattle went out there, got her a triple-double. And I do think her service is going to be missed today. I just can't lay it with the Aces, even at 10.5. Can't quite get there. Can't trust the Dream without Charles' veteran's presence. She also puts the ball in the basket and rebounds fairly well. I agree. Dropping dimes, going back to that under. Helm says, I can't trust the Aces versus literally anyone. 10.5, no thanks. I'm right there with Helms on this one. We agree here, Helm. FY says, no Tina, line moving towards the Dream. Nah, it moved. So last night when Tina Charles got rolled out, it was -8.5, -120 on BetMGM, and it quickly moved to 9.5, and then to 10. And when I woke up this morning, there was 10.5 popping up. I did see that one immediately, but I knew I won't land with the Aces. Lost all faith in the Aces, Prolific says. Eventually they're gonna get it right, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be here. FY says fade Aces rest of the season. DJ Props says he's laddering Asia points from up to 26.5 up to 40 plus. Line has been moving towards an overall morning. 40 plus is now 1,100 on DraftKings. Also taking her to get 3 blocks for plus 100 on FanDuel. I didn't even know her blocks were available. Shout out to Prop, man. He shared this with me earlier. I do think, I was thinking about it last night. You're going to have what? Nas Hillman. I'm pretty sure Nia Coffey probably gets a few more minutes. Probably gets a lot more minutes. And she's not bad. Nia Coffey's actually probably one of the better role players forwards in the WNBA, in my opinion, that comes off the bench. But she gonna have her hands full with Asia tonight. And we also got to remember, Asia gave the Dream 40 earlier this season. Remember that game? I think it was in Atlanta too. So yeah, it could be a big Asia game. I endorse the over 26.5 points here for sure. Prop. I think the Aces cover. No Tina Charles is a big loss. Donna says, okay. Dream plus 10.5, Marie says. So a lot of mixed opinions on this one. Yeah, Asia points, Josh. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Helm says he grabbed Howard over 16.5 points of plus money when the news dropped. Yeah, when the news dropped that Tina Charles wasn't gonna play. And I'm right there with you, Holmes. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, this isn't rocket science here. Yeah, Ryan Howard could play that same role that Satu Sabli had in the last game. So in agreement there. Next game up we have is, and this is the last one? I think this is the last one, right? Yeah, we've been through 3 already. Yeah, last game on the board for today, we got the New York Liberty. They will be in Seattle. Laying 2.5 points is a short road favorite. Total sitting at 163.5. And we have seen this line start to move a little bit in favor of the New York Liberty. Probably thinking that this team bounces back off of probably the worst loss of the season, losing that game outright as a 12.5 point favorite in LA against the Sparks the other day. Rakia Jackson went crazy. Erica Hamby had a really good game. And you can tell Liberty just really wasn't locked in and focused to play in that game. Also, no Jocko Jones. So you had Kennedy Burst trying to step in. Nadir Sabli, I think is how you pronounce the name. I probably butchered that. But Satu's little sister trying to step in and take on the role. And they just got smoked. They couldn't stop the Sparks from scoring the basketball. They have typically bounced back in the spot. And before I get there, not get ahead of myself, injury report, we do have Jocko Jones, only person on the injury report. She missed the game on Friday with an illness, a non-COVID related illness. And it was the first game of the season that she missed. She is listed as questionable to play in this game. I didn't see anything from Sandy Bondella in this game. But and Seattle has nobody on the injury report. Seattle is struggling, man. You guys can see outside of the Aces, this team is 0-7 against the spread in the last 7 games. They have not covered a number since returning from the All-Star break. And a lot of it has been their offense. They did get back on track just a little bit in that last game. Let's just look at Seattle really quickly. Offensively, they are 9th in effective field goal percentage last 5 games of 12 teams. 10th in free throw rate, so not getting to the free throw line at all. 10th in offensive rebounds, so not getting a lot of second chance opportunities. 10th in offensive rating. And 7th in points scored, only averaging about 79.2 points per game in their last 5 games. The assist percentage is the worst in the WNBA over the last 5. True shooting percentage is 50%, which is 9th. They're 9th in restricted area field goal percentage. 7th in paint field goal percentage, only shooting about 36% from the field. 9th in mid-range percentage. 10th in above the break 3 field goal percentage, only shooting 28% from the 3-point line. It's been their offense. They've really been struggling to score the basketball. Like I said, they did go up and over their team total in that game against Atlanta, but their offense was really, really poor. Defensively, they've still been pretty good. They've been solid. First in free throw rate, so they're not fouling. Second in forcing turnovers. Defense hasn't been, too bad. They are bottom 3 and above the break 3 field goal percentage for their opponent, allowing teams to shoot about 37%, which can be big against New York. New York likes to shoot the 3, and coming off a pretty poor 3-point shooting game, they probably bounce back in this spot. What else for Seattle? Seattle is number 1 in points allowed off turnovers, so they're not giving up a bunch of points there. They are giving up a bunch of second chance points, about 11 per game, which puts them bottom 5, and they're giving up points in the paint as well. So I'm looking at this game, man. I like the Liberty. The only reason I don't have an official play on it here And I didn't even talk about the Liberty, but you can see the numbers on the left hand side. Number 6 in offensive rating over the last 5 games. I like the Liberty because they're the best road team in the WNBA. Number 1 in defense rating over the last 5 games, even with them giving up, a ton of points to the Sparks in that last game, almost 100 points to the Sparks. Number 5 in net rating as well, and it's just it's the defensive numbers for me for the Liberty, especially off the loss, especially on the road. It's typically a pretty good spot. The Liberty are 5-1 straight up coming off a loss this season. 5 straight losses. The game that they lost was actually the first one of the season. So should be a bounce back spot for them here. I'm not saying it'll be easy, but I do think they're a better team between them and Seattle. Seattle has only been a home dog once this season. That was to the Aces. They lost that game 79-84. That's a 5-point dog. So I think they ended up with a push. And you look at the Liberty versus the Seattle Storm. They won the earlier meeting. The Liberty did 74-63 as a 14-point favorite. This was at the beginning of the season. New York has won 5 straight in the head-to-head matchup as well. Stewie going back home. I like the Liberty here. Like I said, not that it'll be easy, but I like the Liberty here to get back. I just didn't play it because I want to see what happens with Jacquel. I think she is an X factor, especially if she's able to bring Ezzie McMcCoy away from the rim. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one before we get up off of here. Do a quick recap. Moki says, debating taking the Liberty 2.5 or throw this game in the garbage. Helm says, Chelsea Gray, I want a ladder, but her mind's so iffy. I can't get that with Chelsea Gray anything. FY says, snap bet Liberty -1.5. Here we go. Best game on the slate, and I agree with that, Helms. I guess I would also look towards the under in this game. I didn't mention this, but when Helms says best game on the slate, that would make me look towards the under. Liberty typically bounce back defensively in these spots. I would want to say, let's just double check that real quick. Liberty, Liberty are 5-1 straight up coming off a loss. 5-1 to the under coming off a loss. They've held 4 of their 6 opponents under their team total, giving up an average of about 75 points per game in this spot. So that would make me think team total under, specifically for the Seattle Storm. And I already talked about them struggling to score the basketball. You can get Seattle right now under 81.5 at -125 on Bet Rivers. It looks like that's the best number. 80.5 on most other books, but it's some 81.5s on DK and Bet 365 as well. So I'll add that to the short list really quickly. This makes a ton of sense to me. If I'm expecting the Liberty to bounce back offensively, like I said, probably still not gonna play it until Jacquel is rolled in. But New York minus the 2.5, or even on the money line, and then Seattle team total under 81.5 looks like it's the best number. All right. Appreciate Helms for making me think about that train of thought. I forgot to even look into that. DJ Prop says Liberty money line for him. Helms like the Storm money line. Okay. Taking the under. Like it, Adonis. Like it a lot. Couple Joe says I'm late, but good morning. Hit that like button and let's get paid. And that's what we're here to do, Couple Joe, appreciate you, bro. Helm says no matter if it hits or not, bro, don't give out bad advice calling a high juice parlay safe. Yeah. There's no such. Yeah, you want to. I don't know how y'all do parlays in the WNBA. I'm trying to make straight bets and can't hit those most of the time. So, I'm not parlaying anything, but to each his own. Dropping Dime says first half under 83 is what he likes. What's up, Trayvon? Appreciate you for tapping in. What else should I say in the comments? Marquis says I like first half under in this game. First half under makes sense. It definitely makes sense. If I go back to moneyballer.com real quickly and I go to this game, I'm pretty sure both of these teams are trending towards the under in their last 5 games. Well, I know the Liberty went over in their last game, but let's look at those numbers real quick. Over under, we got Liberty first half 5-2. their last 7 in the first half, and Storm 2-3, well 3-2 to the over. Their games have been going a little bit more over. Um, Liberty 5-2 to the first half team total under. To their team total under in the first half, and the Storm 4-1 to their team total under in the first half. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Opponent team total unders. Yeah, the first half under is a really great look. Shout out to Marquise. I know somebody else mentioned this as well. You got a Liberty team that's 5-2, with their opponents going under in their team total in the first half, and Storm not too bad behind them either. So yeah, first half team total under. I like it. Helm says, "I knew you were true." Oh, are you talking? I'm not reading that. I thought he's talking. Helm ain't talking to me. Chelsea Gray will get no more of my coin. Cover Joe says, I like that. Ball Talk says he likes Seattle here. Statement game. I don't think they get swept in the series. I can't see them winning the next matchup in New York. So yeah, these two teams do play again one day next week. It's their next game for both of them as well. So this is the first of one of those two little back-to-backs. Clipper says, how about Skylar Diggins over 13.5 points? That's something that I looked into. Dylan says, Friday night underdog spread. Okay. I'm not fading the Aces, the Liberty on the road. Not as a short favorite. So real quick, Liberty away favorite in the line. If they're projected to win by less than 2 possessions, perfect 3-0 on the season. 3-0 against the spread. And these spots have come against the Sun. They won in Mohegan Bay twice, and they beat the Sky. They were getting 3.5 points in that game. I think that was the game without Stewie. So yeah, I like them. You know, they were also dogs in that. You know, the game against the Aces, beat them. Yeah, Liberty can pretty much beat anybody in my opinion on the road. What else? What else we got here? Ball Talk like the Storm on the money line, so some disagreement there. And yeah, that's what we got. I'm not getting into all the foolishness with y'all in the comment section. I'm not getting there. Let's get into a quick recap before we get up off here. And Minnesota minus the 5.5 is official, like a referee with a whistle. I did lock in this. So these are the other ways that I'm looking. Like I said, I like the slate for today, but I don't like the injury news. And that's why the Chicago game versus the Aces, versus the Indiana Fever's not on here. I do like the Fever, like them a lot, but I think we get a better number if Kennedy Carter's ruled in, and my gut kind of tells me she is, but I don't have any sources. So I will probably be on the Fever. If Kennedy Carter's ruled in, and we can get a 3.5. And Atlanta team total under. With no Tina Charles, I think that's going to impact the offense a little more than the defense, but we'll see how that goes. Also like Seattle team total. Under 81.5 would be the way that I was looking as well. And real quick, Liberty on the road as a short favorite. I've given up 75 points to the Sun, 68 to the Sun, 67 to the Sky. As a road favorite in general, when they are laying these short numbers or are a dog, every single game have gone under, except the one against the Mercury where they gave up 99. So yeah, this makes a lot of sense to me. I like the under. First half under also makes a lot of sense as well. First half under makes a lot of sense. I know somebody mentioned that. I'll add it to the short list as well. Let's see what the best number we can get real quick before we jump off here. First half total points. A couple guys mentioned this. First half under for Seattle, New York, 83.5 minus 115 on ESPN Bet. Shout out to Oz Jam as always. 83.5 is the best number that you can get for the first half. I like it. I like it a lot. I definitely like that. All right, that's what I like, man. Best of luck on all your action for today. The plays that are in red have not been locked in yet. Just kind of waiting on the injury news to clarify some of these. Of course, the Jack Wall doesn't play. I don't like the Liberty minus 2.5. I do think that they need her. But I do like that first half under, and I like Seattle team total to go under either way. Atlanta team total probably something I'm going to get to as well. So those are the looks that I like for today. Only thing I officially locked in was Minnesota minus the 5.5 yesterday, though. So we'll see how it goes, man. Resources, as always, are here. Check out OddsJam if you guys have not already. You can use code CBC to get 20% off your first month. The link for that is in the description. The link for Moneyballer is also in the description. 50% off now is what the guys are giving you over there off your first month, using code ChrisBeCappinn with 2 P's and 2 N's. Check those websites out, man. Give Me the Dog is on here. Killer Sports and Clean the Glass are also other resources that I use for people who want to be a little more independent in capping the games, so that they can come to the show with their homework done already. So that's what I'm liking, man. If you enjoyed the show, you're still watching, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Like, share, subscribe, especially if you guys are new. Turn the notification bell on so you know when I go live. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Shout out to my guy Mark in the chat, Helms, as well. All of the sharp cappers that come in here, help me cap the games on a daily basis, man. Best of luck to all of you guys. Link for all my official plays is in the description, as it always is. And I will catch you guys in the next one, man. Enjoy your Friday. And, be back tomorrow, I think.